What conspiracy theory do you believe to be true? What evidence led you to this conclusion? Marilyn Monroe was murdered by the US government. She frequently attempted suicide and then called someone via her landline next to her bed to come save her. When she died, no traces of it were found within her stomach and her colon had been extremely cleaned. A theory is that she was murdered via enema poisoning. I haven't brushed up on it or researched in a long time, so I am probably remembering facts incorrectly. Search it up on YouTube, it's quite interesting. No way. The top comment that was just deleted talked about fake gilding from admins in order to gain traction on posts, and it was deleted. I believe it now. Used to live in a small town in South Dakota and I am convinced there is something in the food water there to keep people there. Impartially convinced it's actually the Dairy Queen causing this. Because for a town of 7,000, this place is always so busy, and somehow, every year for the past 11 years, the entire length of this competition sells the most blizzards on Miracle Treat Day. A town of 7,000 outsells every other Dairy Queen. There's also some other things in that the town has a significant amount of people all with very similar disabilities to their left legs. I honestly am just glad I'm out of that town before it sucked me in. But how the heck does that small butt town sell 40,000 blizzards in a day? The stories about Dan Schneider. Watching some clips of shows he produces is downright creepy. The tweets of his actresses' feet don't help his cause. Not a doubt in my mind the stories about him are true. I grew up watching all those shows and in retrospect there is so much creepy stuff in them. There's just so many scenes of underage actresses in bikinis, so many really obscene jokes about characters who are literally middle schoolers, and obviously a ridiculous amount of foot fetish stuff. It's very obviously true. That Reddit mobile is purposely broken to make you download the app. I forgot to include my proof. Basically, when I started using Reddit roughly 5 or so years ago it worked fine. Now every other page loads as page not found. Frickin' GIFcat makes to go to their website just to view a 5-second GIF. Plus to top it off they keep pushing the app on me that I already downloaded but refuse to use. It works terribly. False, because app is also broke. I keep ink pens from every year dating back to 2008 in my desk so that if I need to forge and backdate an important document I can sign it with ink that matches the year I'm backdating. Yes, feds do check ink in fraud investigations, not really a conspiracy but might answer a few questions. You don't need one of each year, just use a pen from 2008 and it could feasibly have been used any date after that. Restaurant owners know how awkward it is to be sung to in front of the whole establishment, and they do it to discourage people from taking advantage of their free birthday food. Bro, I'll jerk off in front of the staff if it means free food. I had radio coordinates commercials breaks to all take place simultaneously, so you're forced to listen to ads even you change the station. They're practically a monopoly in my area and I notice it happens to me all the time. Every time someone posts about a safe on Reddit, they actually have already opened it and know nothing is in it before their first post. Also, people who never deliver on opening a safe after posting one found some really valuable crap in there and didn't want to put a target on their back. That the USA deliberately gets into an armed conflict every decade or so for the purpose of ensuring that at any given time, they always have a critical mass of soldiers with actual combat experience. They get in a lot of conflicts, and it seems highly probable that the leadership of a country that spends so much on national defense would highly value the institutional knowledge that comes from that kind of continuity of practical experience, even if it comes at a high human cost. Also, military-industrial complex. This is more of a personal conspiracy. I've been working as an American healthcare consultant for 2 years now, and I genuinely think that insurance companies are purposely denying claims so that they can leverage $ for their beneficiaries' medical records. For example, one of my clients, a huge and important hospital system, had to deal with hundreds of thousands of dollars of medical claim denials because Humana suddenly decided it didn't believe any of those hospital stays were legitimate. They basically told my client to either fax hundreds of medical records or accept the zero pays. It's really suspicious and unfortunate, but when they have the money, what can you do? I bill Humana and they do that all the time. They send refund requests based on nothing and then we have to appeal by sending medical records, and even that's a crapshoot. Humana rejections suck. Recently they stated in a denial that plain old physiotherapy was considered experimental treatment and they wouldn't pay for it. A forensics specialist believes Jamie Hewlett of Gorillaz is Banksy. It's not as big as other submissions here, but it's a theory I buy. The thing I like about these threads is that there are people reading these comments right now who know something important about the theories and they just aren't willing or able to provide that information here. That Apple started the AirPods meme, and right before Christmas they would give out $150 gift cards. I fully believe companies are using memes as a marketing technique. All it needs is one big post on a couple subs here and it's all over the internet, hitting their target audience in hours days. Disney made Zootopia partly to replace the Song of the South characters from Splash Mountain. Splash Mountain is really the only thing that still exists in the public eye from Song of the South, along with the song Zipper-dee-Doo-dah, since Disney wants to pretend that movie doesn't exist. So they created a movie featuring Fox and Rabbit characters that could replace Bro Fox and Bro Rabbit, and Ray themed the entire ride to be Zootopia themed, while leaving some things, like the name, and the songs featured in the ride, from Song in the South. There's also that Disney loves Ray theming things to their IP now, getting rid of Maelstrom and bringing in a Frozen themed ride, so it would make sense for them to retheme a ride to a successful recent movie then keep a ride based off an old, mildly xenophobic movie they are trying to forget. I could believe this, but Splash Mountain is so ridiculously popular that fans would riot if they tried retheming it. I do like the part about the new Fox and Bunny though. I'm starting to think that the really stupid conspiracy theories, vaccines causing autism, flat earth, lizard people, etc., are intentionally spread by propaganda groups and troll farms. They don't care what stupid crap you believe, but they are very interested to know that you're a gullible mark who will believe anything with no evidence, and won't do research with authorities on the matter to find the truth. If you want to spread misinformation, look for the people who do it as a hobby. There was a report recently that Russian bot farms are spreading anti-vax memes en masse across US and Europe. Even if they may or may not have started it, they are certainly willing to capitalize off it. Mason jars created Pinterest to sell more mason jars. Me, desperately trying to make a pretty salad inside a mason jar. Frick. The lines on the detergent caps are higher than they should be, so you use more detergent for each load of laundry. It's so easy for them to get away with it. I have a theory that Tinder gives fake "you got a new match" notifications so people get excited and opens Tinder, which leads them to swipe more. Source: myself. That's not a theory, that just straight up happens, dog. The news report about beards containing more bacteria than a dog that just licked his own butthole. Beards are messing with facial recognition software. The man wants beards to not be trendy anymore. That article was also based on a sample size of 18 and lacked practically every kind of scientific rigor. Our apartment building has windows that are nearly impossible to affix a screen to. Same goes for the sliding doors. The power is centralized and locked into a certain expensive power company. I believe the developer and power company conspired to make people living in the apartments use the aircon more by making it hard to keep windows open without dozens of mosquitoes coming inside. People asking about my language. I'm Australian. Thanks to draconian Aussie renting laws, I'm pretty limited in which modifications I can do. A lot of newer buildings are designed to look beautiful from the outside, and that means no screens on windows. I hate it. I love fresh air, but during the summer I either roast or let flies and mosquitoes into my apartment. I feel like drugs like C being cut with fentanyl. No dealer who wants to keep making money is going to cut their blow with fent. It seemed like drugs are being intercepted, cut with dangerous crap, and then sent back out. Evidence: they already did the same thing during alcohol prohibition. The people doing it are convinced they are doing society a favor. Reddit works with the NSA. I see weird posts sometimes targeting my demographic to respond. Make sure to know you have no privacy here. I see some making throwaway accounts. Very smart. Despite it being a throwaway account, you still use the same IP address so they can still know it's you. I think the US made a secret peace plan with China after the Korean War. I base this on the way Chinese foreign policy changed so quickly and their lack of involvement in American wars in the decades to come. I think it fell apart in the 90s under Bush Sr. I used to tell people that I believed the government listened to our phone calls. Years later some guy named Snowden proved me right. I hope the NSA knows that Jennifer was a freaking C. I believe that there is only one ocean. My evidence. Oceans don't have borders and there is nothing to separate them. Guys, this is a joke. If you're kidding, haha I guess. But if not, you're correct, and science has recognized this. There are technically no oceans, and the oceans as a whole are referred to as the world ocean. The Hawaii nuke false alarm last year was actually the US government testing to see how the general population would react if an actual nuclear war broke out. I believe that the government probably makes some conspiracy theories to try to make questioning the government seem somewhat crazy. There is a conspiracy theory about the flat earth movement being just that. I think Apple is pushing their AirPods on consumers by making their software updates less and less compatible with wired headphones. My reasoning: my new headphones have started to consistently skip songs, activate Siri, stop and start music without me touching or even moving them. I asked around and other people are having the same issue. Not to be a tinfoil hat person, but tinfoil hat. I was having this problem too. Weirdly enough, just had to clean out the lightning port. Conspiracy: my local Jimmy John's waits until they have 3-4 orders to deliver before they bring me my fricking sandwich. Evidence: where's my fricking sandwich? This is proven. McDonald's McDelivery service asks its stores to wait an extra 20 minutes or so before heading out to deliver in case any more orders come in from the same location. They quote a 45-minute delivery time when most of their menu is not made to order and can be ready to go in under 5 minutes. Banks and landowners conspire to manipulate urban land prices. Turn an area into a ghetto by marking it as a high-risk loan proposition. Denying loans in the area. Property values plummet on a downtown area because no one can sell. Because no one can get a loan. Once things are down enough, you can buy up prime location land at pennies on the dollar, then redevelop it into being worth the real market value of such a central location, plus what you invested in the actual development. This is called redlining. It is illegal to do and there are many laws forbidding it. That's not to say banks don't do it, but it's illegal. Source: worked for banks and sold mortgages. When Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, was at Harvard, he participated in a brutal psychological experiment led by Professor Henry Murray. The experiment lasted for 3 years and by many accounts they seemed to have an extreme impact on Kaczynski's psyche. I think this experiment was part of the CIA's MKUltra project and destabilized Kaczynski enough to where he eventually went on his reign of terror of sending bombed packages around the country. During the MKUltra project, the CIA collaborated with university professors on these mind control experiments, but a lot of the documentation was destroyed when people started to look into it. TLDR: the Unabomber participated in an experiment that was a part of the MKUltra project that eventually led to him becoming a mass murderer. Michael Jordan's father was murdered in retribution for Jordan not paying off massive gambling debt. Jordan didn't retire and then come back. He was suspended for gambling. In the mid-90s, Michael Jordan was an industry. The truth about his gambling habits may have cost a lot of people a lot of money, so the cover story was presented. I admit the part about his father's murder is a bit of a stretch, but this is a thread about conspiracy theories after all. As for the suspension, I stand by that 100%. Found Bill Simmons' Reddit burner account. I believe that chapstick causes lips to become more dry a couple hours after usage. I base this on the fact that my lips are more dry 5 hours after using chapstick than 2 days after using it. People just use chapstick wrong. It's to seal already existing moisture in the lips, not add moisture. Think of the difference between Vaseline and lotion. Chapstick is basically Vaseline. Arts Guild their own submissions from alt accounts to give them traction. Source: the removed comments in this thread were discussing exactly that. The original comment itself was even gilded and removed in less than 30 minutes. The Bandersnatch Black Mirror Netflix special collected watchers' data to better green light productions that were more in line with users' taste. I wrote a complaint online about my pizza place about them cancelling my order without telling me, and the next order I got from them was fricked up. The pizza was way undercooked and not cut, and they didn't include the ranch that I always get with it. Also, when I called to tell them about the frick up, the manager seemed unapologetic and also like he already knew what I was talking about before I called. My conspiracy is that they retaliated since I basically reported them to corporate through their website with my initial complaint. I got a free pizza on my account with them for this but decided just to not order from them anymore. Mediocre pizza anyway. I believe in the mattress store conspiracy. So the conspiracy is that mattress stores are for money laundering. I went onto Google Maps and typed in mattress stores near me. There were 4 mattress stores in the same shopping center. There was a road that had 5 mattress stores less than a mile apart. So I definitely believe in it. All my devices listen in on me. The other day I was arguing with my dad about some chicken I thought had gone off. It was frozen for about a month so we weren't too sure, but my dad was insistent that it was still edible. Dad decided to ask Google, and lo and behold the related searches even from the first letter were, is chicken edible after being frozen for a month, and how long can you freeze chicken before it goes off? Also, my mum and I use this tactic where if we need to ring up a company about something and it puts us in a queue, we swear at it. It then puts you on a priority list and you don't have to wait as long. Kinda sketchy on the company's behalf. Work with phone systems. Can confirm some can detect you swearing and increase the call priority. They also score both you and the agent based on a number of criteria. Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 wasn't an accident. There were definitely external forces that catalyzed its disappearance. The flight path was diverted many times and there was a lot of shady stuff about some of the passengers and the pilot of Flight 370. We may never know unless the plane is found. I've heard this before, but curious on what your thoughts are as to what may have happened to the plane and its passengers. That there is a huge pedophile ring in Hollywood. Anyone who tries to expose them die shortly after coincidentally. That we didn't have an apocalypse in 2012, but instead shifted into an almost parody timeline of events. It's why humanity's future looks bleaker every year. There's a theory out there we shifted universes due to the Hadron Collider. I believe that Apple started the wearing AirPods equals cool rich meme intentionally to boost sales. They became the best-selling wireless earbuds worldwide after the meme. PETA was formed by meat companies to make animal rights activists look like idiots. Reasoning: the majority of animal rights activists don't like PETA. PETA wastes a lot of their own time calling out video games and cartoons. And they have killed many stray dogs for not being purebreds. I might have gotten some of the details of that last one wrong though. Well, if it's true, they are doing a fantastic job. The USA will never add colleges to public funding like they did high schools because then the enlistment rate for the military would plummet. Source: everyone I know who joined the service just to help pay for school. This one is interesting. In addition to this, the federal government makes a ton of money off of student loans. Source: just took out $70k with 6+% interest rate that will accumulate for a minimum of 4 years before I even start to pay them off. Multiply this by every student that doesn't default on their loans and that is a lot of money. When a comment in one of these threads is removed, it's because it's true and someone with the power to remove it wants it hidden longer. I don't have evidence yet, but if this comment gets removed, then I'll have the evidence but no comment. Anyone saying now they wouldn't delete it because you called out the negative consequences, that was the point of doing so. Gotta keep the comment up somehow. Also, as tempting as it is, I'm not gonna delete the comment myself. It wouldn't be effective to the trained eye. Removed by moderator is hard to fake. And why falsify evidence when there's enough to go around? Half of you saw the thread about admins and gold. Why go any farther? I will watch this comment with great interest. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.